Can you see? Hello. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Just waiting for Tolu to join us. Today, our guest is Tools Creates, aka Manifesto of aka Tolu. Hi, Dami. Okay. I'm just okay, let me approve.
Hola, people.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are
Welcome.
you?
How's the protest this morning? I'm so jealous. I live in a small town. I live in like a village somewhere. There's nothing happening here.
It was good. Like, it was very uncomfortable for me.
I can
I never had
imagine.
to do something like that before.
Yeah.
So it was definitely very interesting. But you know what? It's time we start just being more out there and getting to do the uncomfortable stuff. So I'm really glad I was able to do this. Sorry, I'm just trying
Nice.
to get my stuff together right. Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad I was
Oh,
able
I'm
to do this.
loving the sweatshirt. Oh my god, I'm so jealous. You have to send me one. You have to send me one.
So funny
Sorosoke for the
story about
mandem.
this. Funny story. I'd already ordered mine. Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So I get to my room, and then my really lovely friend Michael. So I see it on my bed, and I'm like, "Why is it opened? Like, I ordered it. It should be in a bag. Like, who opened my
Who will open your
package?"
stuff? Yeah.
And then I go to his room. I'm like, "Wait, you just came from Ottawa. Did you bring this?" He's like, "No." And then it's like, "Yeah, I got you one." I'm like,
No, I'm so jealous. Like, I need to order one for myself. Sorosoke.
"So now I have two, right? I have
Nice.
like."
Nice.
I was so touched. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear this like right now.
Yeah, like I was following all the protests from, Ottawa to Toronto to like, I'm so proud of our generation. Everybody that's on this live, if you've done anything, even if all you've done is repost, you've done something.
For sure.
Even if all you've done is repost, you have done something. My goodness, I'm so proud to be in Nigeria right now. Like, whoo,
Yeah.
Lord
To
Jesus.
be a young Nigerian for that matter.
Yo!
Yeah. So
Like, it is something else. It is something. Don't worry, Pam, we'll do another giveaway. We actually need to do another giveaway. I actually have a free box of HelloFresh. I can give that one away. So, thanks for the hookup.
yeah, so we're definitely an interesting time.
Yeah. Interesting time to be alive for sure. Okay, I guess we're gonna get right into it straight. So, as a lot of you know, we were supposed to do a live talking about Tolu's journey in terms of personal finance, her debt payoff goals, and what she's doing to actually get that going. But we switched it because times and seasons have called for extracurricular activities. So we are changing topic because my goodness, what is happening right now in Nigeria is exciting. It is, I don't know the big grammar to use. It's very, from like I was saying, one of the posts I posted, we're firing on all cylinders. I have my cousins, friends, people that are firing 24-hour prayer, people that are also protesting 24 hours. So I'm seeing all sides. It's pretty amazing. But yeah. All right. So basically, the topic we're going to be talking about today is, the role of personal finance in nation building. Like, if for those of you that know me, that watch that look at the posts and whatnot, at the end of the day, the reason why I've been a huge and still am, and I think nothing for sure will continue to be for a long time, a big proponent of people getting their personal finances in order is because I think a lot of people underestimate the power of the household sector when it comes to building an economy. So what do I mean? Like, there's three major sectors. There's the household sector, there's the corporate sector, and of course there's government. A lot of people tend to look to government, especially in Nigeria, for solutions. Here, there's a little bit more balance, right? But the biggest thing is if people can actually get, like, when you get your fund, because it's the household sector that funds businesses,
Yeah.
right? Those businesses grow, and of course they pay back. You know what I mean? So, like, the household sector is so important, and if that, I guess, aspect of the economy is completely, like, is not taken care of, we're seeing the results now.
Yeah.
Because what moves an economy forward is the fact that everyday people are allowed to be productive.
Yeah.
We were celebrating the guys who set up Paystack and whatnot. If the system actually allows for it, then I think Nigeria is, like, set up for just, it's going to be so good. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to being a part of it for sure. From wherever in the world we are, Yeah. So, I mean, that's my little introduction. Let me pass the baton on to you.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things also, definitely when Fikayo talked to me about Fix It Finance is about, we're not just paying off debts just to have money chilling around.
Yeah.
We want to be able to give, right? We want to be able to do something. And, for me, I think awakening for me was just seeing how this process has been going on for this the 12th day or something, or maybe the 10th day. And it's been funded by young
people. Just
like money,
100%.
like the scripture says, like, money answers all things. That is not a joke. Like, money literally takes care of things. And I was just thinking this one, I'm like, we're all waiting for the government, but what if we're to start a different government?
Like, without a leader, look at what has been achieved in less than a week, or in about a week, actually. I don't even know what day it started, but whatever day it started.
Yeah. And it's like, what, like, just seeing how people were able to do that just within 7 days. How much more if each and every young person actually is intentional about their finances? But, like, you know what? I know North American lifestyle is like, oh yeah, everybody has credit, but I don't want to do that. Right? I don't want to do that. I want to have my cash. I want to be able to, the Bible says that Deuteronomy 18:6 or something, or 16:8 says we'll lend to nations, we'll never borrow.
Yep.
Like,
that's the generation I'm a part of.
I'm thinking about, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to lend to nations. I want to give to nations.
There we go.
Okay?
No,
right?
But you know what?
I mean?
I think, like, sorry, what you just said right now about lending to nations, I think a lot of people miss that big picture when it comes to, and it's kind of going back to what I was talking about the households being the financiers of economies. You know what I mean? Like, it's the households that finance economies. You get, like, look at what is happening right now. They've raised, what, 60 million? I don't know how much. I've not checked.
And that's just in Naira. You're putting Canadian money, American money, pounds, euros, other currencies that I've never even touched before. And then who knows how much is in Bitcoin right now?
Like, let's not even go there. I thought it was just the biggest flex. And they're like, okay, fine, they've shut down our regular accounts. Let's now bring you into 2020.
Like, I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. I'm like, wait, Bitcoin, I don't know what that, I've been hearing about it. Like, I don't have that, so it was really, really just refreshing. I think for me it was very encouraging. It's very like, oh my gosh, like, we can do this.
We can. Not just we can. Like, I think we
are doing this.
We are doing this. I guess let me put it out there. If you have questions, please post your questions. We'll try as much as possible to get to each and every one of them. Yeah. So let me just put that out there. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just really inspiring. Like, wow, these are young people like me. Like, I see the Paystack guys just sold their company for 200 million. And again, not to say everyone is supposed to be a Paystacker, but like me, I know for myself, I'm a financer of, like, dreams. And it was really important for me to, like, not, like, to start now from being, like, debt free. I'm looking at my debts, like my OSAP, like,
that's the best
debtometer thing. Let me show you guys my OSAP debtometer. I have it right in my, it's right there.
So, I kept mine. When I finished paying off all my debts, I still have it in my bookshelf. So whenever I go somewhere and I want to mistakenly enter debt, I'm like, no.
Like, I have that right there in front of me to, like, remind, like, yo, like, we're doing this. You know what I mean? Like, we are not going to, like, we need to free up our cash flow. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know, like, I want to be able to, like, give to, like, initiatives where like young people that actually don't have access to those funds. Like I want to be those people where like, I'm a angel investor. Like
There we go. Venture capitalist. That's the best job in the world, in my
like
opinion.
like that is me right there. So it's like, you know what? I need to be able to start putting all these things in place right now, right? In order to be able to get there. It's not just talking like, oh, I want to be rich, or I want to be good. And for me, like I'm not one of those, like I'm not trying to just have enough money for my family. No. Like I'm trying to have enough money for my, do you know what I mean, organization, Lend to Nations, right? So I think that's definitely really important. What's next? Okay.
So I guess then the first thing, like when we talk about, the role of personal finance in nation building. So the first thing which we've kind of talked about is the fact that I don't care how much dreams or whatever you have, if you are being bogged down by debt, there's no way you can participate in this kind of thing. In the sense of, for example, I was this week, someone met, not someone, my pastor met somebody, an 85-year-old man that still had to go to work because he makes about 6,500 a year. This guy worked in the oil rigs, making over 100K for, well, not over 100K, but like close to that, actually, if you do the equivalent from when he started working for about 40 years. Now somebody like that, that's not necessarily what we're addressing here. I guess what we're trying to say is young people that are willing and ready to do the work that is necessary to grow their asset, to grow their assets, get rid of unnecessary debt, and actually focus on helping like this new nation, this new birth that we're about to have, to be able to move forward, because it's going to require capital, it's going to require capital. And like people like us are going to be the ones that are going to fund, some of these, because and the way we are going to do that is to make sure we have our personal finances in order. Because if you have your personal finance in order, no offense, for example, one of the things I'm excited about is, people that are like young adults that are professionals, lawyers, doctors, coders, anything that is adding value that we've all learned. We've been internationally trained. We have masters, we have chartered, everybody are chartered. Do you understand? Like at the end of the day, coming back and being able to do something, but there will not be that temptation to steal when you're not hungry. You know what I mean? Like you're not looking at the first thing, you're not going there to see what you can gain, because
get out of it.
When you get your personal finances in order, like when you actually take the pain to get through paying off your debts, budgeting, building your assets in terms of like investments and real estate and whatnot, you actually come to learn the value of money and how to serve others. So that when you are giving political appointments, you're not there thinking of what you can gain. You're there thinking about what can I give, because you can afford it. Like now I give free personal finance advice. There are people that charge $120 an hour for what I do. Do you understand? When I give, like in my church, all my church members, I've made up my mind, any setting I'm in, they're all going to be wealthy. Yesterday, we still said I was breaking down investing, breaking down, like I would sit down with mothers that are here alone. Their husbands are back in Nigeria, teaching them how to pick investment funds. I do this for free, but because I'm not hungry. Do you understand? It's easy to do something like that and be able to serve. What I'm saying is young people like us that are going to have to, for lack of a better word, go back and help rebuild. You have to make sure that your own ducks are in a row. If you look at the Bible, when they are giving someone like, deacon or any pastoral office, the first thing they say is your house in order? So personal finance, when it comes to nation building, is going to be so important. Our generation has to not be greedy. And the way we will not be greedy is that we're not lacking, we're not hungry. Do you understand?
And let me jump on that a little bit. I think somebody talked about sacrifices earlier. I think it was Upper Taylor. It's virtually impossible to.
Nice. Sorry about that.
It's virtually impossible to prosper if you're in debt. And Pam was saying this is good, but what next, right? So let me just jump on that real quick about like, you won't be greedy. And part of that is like, right now, why we have debt a lot of time, not all the time. Like with like student debts, that's like you have to go to school. But some things like credit card, because we don't want to do delayed gratification.
Yeah,
we want it right now. And paying off debts is not just I'm paying off my debt. It's also a discipline thing.
You learn.
Like keeping to your budget is a discipline thing. It's like integrity, because nobody's looking at me. Nobody's going to come and fight me if I didn't follow my budget. It's definitely gonna take it's a journey. But the more you keep like cutting yourself, the more you keep, discipline yourself, you by the time you get to those appointments,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a big deal for you. Do you get what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like
You're
you're not
not
trying to steal
motivated by
anybody's
selfish.
money.
You don't have selfish ambition
You get,
because
yeah.
you've conquered that part of yourself in the process of getting your life together, like your
Yeah.
personal finances together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just you've conquered that, like you've been disciplined. So by the time you get there, it's not something you're working to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's already you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's also really important, because you can pass that down to the people that you're leading, because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people will say, I think also that's the thing with like government or with politics, people always say, oh, even the good people, when you get in there, you become bad somehow. Do you get me? Because everybody's just trying to feed your family. But if you already have the money to feed your family,
Yep.
like your businesses are doing well, your insurance are like your investments is doing, you're not like, nobody's going to hold you by the balls with anything.
Yep.
Right.
You
So
won't be
I think
tempted
that's also
to
that's also really important for sure.
I think the other thing that gets conquered in the process of getting your personal finances in order, which is one of the biggest ones, is you learn how to dissociate from following the Joneses. That everybody and their auntie upgraded
say
their
that
car.
again for the people
Like,
in the
you
back.
will learn how to dissociate from keeping up with the Joneses.
So
because what will
that
happen is, if Tolu buys a Lamborghini today, me too, because we're friends, I want to say, I mean, come on, let me figure out upgrade.
How can I be Tolu's friend and I can't flex?
Do you understand? And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But in the process of getting your personal finances in order, you actually conquer that aspect, such that you're not keeping up with the Joneses. You have a financial plan. You have a plan for yourself. You know where you're going. You know what what the end goal is. So you're not trying to keep up with anybody. Because what happens is, the reason why a lot of new people, when they get into those offices, get tempted is because, for example, a senator that's making $29 million a month.
Drink water.
$29 million a month. Do you understand? There's no way.
Like, what do people use that money for, though? I don't like. I always want to know, like, what do people use the money for?
Wow. Let's not even get into it.
I can't even, how can I? Apparently, when you have money, there are ways to spend it. Like,
well, there's that. But my point is, you won't be tempted to spend it because of the fact that you've got. Do you understand? I'm just saying, like, this new generation, forget the old people. That's their own problem. I'm talking to us now that we're going to have to rebuild. Do you understand? And what I'm trying to say is, let everybody make sure that they are getting their own house in order, such that when should you be called to, step into position, like, if you're what do you call it, spiritual, you're hearing and sensing a lot of things in the spirit right now. You understand? Not even right now. Some things that came before, they are just now coming back. Like, sometimes, like, I was reading some things that you wrote down years ago. Do you understand? My point is, if you are ever called to take up any position of public office because your house is in order, it's easier to resist the temptation. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's not like it's an automatic, there's still the game of conscience and the game of, doing what's right. But the temptation to keep up with the Joneses and do what everybody else is doing, which is stealing, which is the order of the day. And there are people that have overcome that. Like, let's not throw everybody out with the bathwater. Unfortunately,
for sure.
Like, like they always say, even if you're making an omelette and one egg is bad, the other is good. It doesn't matter how good the other one is. The fact is, everything is still bad. It's still bad, So I'm just saying, like, we that are gonna be like the young people that are actually gonna get called to come back and rebuild, or to rebuild in any way from wherever we are, let's make sure that we have our ducks in a row. Your personal finances must be in order, so that you don't get tempted in any way to be corrupt, to steal from people, and to, like, eat 29 million a month and use $600,000 to design logo that you can do in Canva for free.
Don't say that one again, please.
Let's not even.
Okay, so Kaya, all this is all great, but I think for some people they might need a little bit of, like, breaking down. So how about for somebody that's like, well, I'm not trying to build no nation, I just want to have enough for my family. Is that a valid dream? Like,
oh yeah, It is. It's a very
Right.
valid dream. Not everybody has to be as gingered as we are, for lack of a better word. But my point, like, I'll go back to the example I started with, right? So earlier this week, my pastor met up with the guy. He saw him. The guy is 85 years old. All he makes is CPP, so Canadian pension plan, right? Which everybody pays into from their paycheck. You would know
Yeah.
because when you first see your paycheck and they've helped you reduce everything, you you know. So all he makes is CPP, which I think is about $6,500 a year. So last year all he made was $6,500, 6,005 for the whole year. That's about 500 and something a month, right? And that's not all. So he had to go back to work. So when my pastor saw him, my pastor was like, okay, what's going on? He was like, yeah, he has to start working because even the 5 something he's making a month, because he has credit card debt, now the creditors get that money. So he unfortunately was not paying on the credit card. So now he has to, they are able to garnish his wages. So whatever he's making from the government now, CPP, it's just like people who don't pay their student loan. When you file your tax return, the government will hold it and send it to Ontario NSLC. You understand? So they're garnishing his wages basically, right?
Wow.
And now, so my pastor brought it up in church yesterday and was just asking, like, how do we avoid, like, how can we avoid something like that? Because a lot of like immigrants and whatnot that are here, okay, don't let me say a lot, but quite a number are not actually planning for tomorrow. Because you're assuming because you live in Canada, the system is built. But the thing is, if you do not plan now, when you get to that age when you cannot really work as much, you will have to pay the piper, in the sense of, and it's very simple. If all you want to do is build for your family, for example, if you're not interested in building wealth, you're not interested in really like getting nasty with the stock market or real estate or whatnot, you just want to be saving so that you have enough when you get old. As simple as putting money, say for example, in an index fund that's like tied to the S&P or even the Toronto exchange like TSX. Say you put $100 a month for now and the next 20, 30, 40 years. The fact is, you would have enough such that even if you built it up to like 500,000, the S&P 500 on average does about 10 to 11%. Let's say 10. 500,000 invested. If it makes 10%, that's 50K a year. You can live off of that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like this guy that's making 6.5, if all he had was even 200,000 in investments, that was making 20K a year. It's still better than 6.5. Now that's super small scale in my opinion, because in Canada we make a lot of money. Like when I say we make a lot of money, minimum wage is $15 an hour. Even at $15 an hour, you can build something. The only thing is you can't get carried away with the system and keeping up with the Joneses. Meaning you can't be changing your car every 2 years. You can't. You just can't. You can't buy
again delayed gratification.
Yeah, delayed gratification, right? And one thing I've noticed every single time with every single person I've ever helped, or every single person that's ever made the decision to get their financial house in order, when you start that process, you begin to see opportunities like you didn't see before. All of a sudden, when you're living on a budget, I'm not even saying, I don't know. Anyways, let me stop there. Did that answer your question?
For sure. And somebody was saying something here, like using debt as a leverage to investment and wealth building.
Okay.
What, like, I've heard that before. People saying like some debts can be good. The only debt unless I see that makes sense for me right now is like my student loan. Sometimes I don't use my biochemistry anymore. Like, can I get my money back? But anyways, I think that's the only one. But like, what other kind of debts can be good? And is there, what kind of strategy should people take into consideration when borrowing for investment?
Okay. So right now, I would say it depends on where you are at. If you're going to be borrowing to invest, you understand? So for example, there's, especially in Canada too, there's a lot of things out there, get a HELOC, you can quickly pay off your house, or get this and you can, but the thing is, a lot of people don't read the fine print, and all that is well and good while you can make the payments, right? But the day you can't make that payment, the day something happens, for example, like I was talking to somebody, and this person is a surgeon, actually, right? And like the cash flow is on deck. Do you get? And the person was just like, there's this, there's that. I'm like, your risk tolerance. So there's everybody has their risk tolerance. But just like, God forbid your hand, by mistake does not work again or
Oh my
breaks.
gosh, that is
Do you
so.
understand? So my
Mhm.
point is, no matter whatever strategy you choose, if you decide to go down the using debt to build wealth route, I personally won't advise it. But if you
Me
decide to
neither.
go that route, just make sure you have a very healthy emergency fund. For example, if you're going to go down the path of, using like getting mortgages out to build wealth by buying real estate and whatnot, no problem. Just make sure you have a healthy emergency fund. So God forbid, should the market slow down for whatever reason, you can still manage to make your payments. You know what I mean? Your
Yeah,
monthly
for sure.
payments on the mortgage and whatnot. Just
Yeah.
make sure you have a very healthy emergency fund. Like, yeah, like almost like a year's worth of expenses just chilling in an account somewhere that nothing can happen to. So God forbid anything happens, you're good to go. But
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
and I think also personally for me, like if you would want to kind of go the route of debt to make more money, I think what kind of investments are you putting into? So
Mm.
imagine if you had borrowed to put in the stock market, the hot
There's
tiers
no there's
that
no
carry
investment. There's
the
no
hot
investment you want to
tiers,
put it into that doesn't have risk.
right? No, but there are some that are more riskier than others, right? Like there's some that are more riskier than others,
Mm-hmm.
or borrowing. I don't even know. Like there's some things that I think also sometimes we consider investments that
Mm.
when you actually look at it, is it really right? Is it really an investment? So I think if anything, first of all, to try and at least get your cash, be good, like cash wise.
Oh, you have to be. You have to
Yeah,
be.
be
Yeah.
good cash wise.
I'm going to take Yinka's question real quick. He says, but what do you think about the saving thing? Because I feel like you can't grow wealthy if you are just saving. I agree completely. So I guess when I'm talking about saving, I'm not talking about saving, I'm talking about investing, like actually taking whatever it is you're setting aside as savings, after you've built up your emergency fund, for example, and you're actually investing it in the sense of either you're putting it towards, kind of like what we're talking about, real estate, the stock market, even if you're putting it towards a business, say for example, there's a local business in your area who just needs $10,000 from a venture capitalist that can, all they need is 10,000 to be able to move to the next phase, and you have that 10K, invest it in them, you know what I mean? After doing
Yeah,
your research, of course.
yeah.
But when we say saving, we're not talking about saving, we're talking about investing. You cannot get rich by saving. It's not a
The
course.
only thing you
You
save is
just
your
can't.
emergency fund,
Yeah,
and
your
that's only
emergency
when
fund is the
like
only thing in
yeah.
savings, which is usually about 3 to 6 months of expenses, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yinka, I hope that answers your question.
Um.
Okay, let's take another
I
one.
think somebody else was saying something. Dave Ramsey step. So I think we hear that a lot. Do you want to go over what that is for us, just in
Oh,
case
okay.
for people
So
that?
for those that don't know it, so the Dave Ramsey step is basically, if you don't have a financial plan, this is a good one to adopt because it's a proven one. People have used it, like millions of people have used it to actually get their financial house in order, and it's one of those ones that works. First step is to save $1,000 as quickly as possible. Baby step two, you pay off all your debts from the smallest to the largest, everything except the mortgage. Baby step three, you save an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses. So you calculate how much your household spends in a month, and you save times 4, times 5, or times 6 of that. Baby step five is to save for your children's university education. So your RESPs,
Right there.
you start putting money, saving for the amount of children you have, so that when they get to university stage, they won't have to borrow. Which,
Do
if
you
all,
do you have to have children to start? So let's say somebody's in the position to start baby step. What's that for? Saving for your children's, and they don't
oh, I
have kids.
skipped
Do they
four.
have to
Sorry.
wait?
Baby step four is investing 15% of your household income
Mm-hmm.
into investments, so the stock market, whatever it is you want to invest it in. Baby step five is saving for your children's college education, university education. Baby
Mm-hmm.
step six is paying off your house, and baby step seven is to build wealth and give, which I think is the funnest part.
Yeah.
Being able to finance
That's when
nations,
you're
like we're
giving
talking
to
about.
nations, right?
Yeah, if you don't have children, you can skip baby step. What do you call it? Baby step five. You don't have to. Baby step five is not a necessity. So 4, 5, and 6 are done together,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go from there.
And I think personally for me, like when I get to that stage, if I don't have kids yet, I'll still just start putting it away into like an RRSP or something, like a
It is what it
TFSA.
is. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially if I know I'm gonna have kids someday, right? So rather than just kind of have the money just chilling, or like where I know, okay, I want to actually like be deliberate about the step, I would probably just start that. So I think,
Mm.
you know, for everyone it's different. You can throw everything in investment, or you can skip it or whatever. So.
And you customize it to yourself, because you and your household, like, you know your household, you know what you do, you know what your goals are, so you customize it to suit what you guys are trying to achieve. I'm going to take Pam's question here. She says, how can we revamp the household sector to influence the priorities of the government when it comes to spending? Very simple. The first thing is, one, the household sector, first of all, has to know who they are. Like, they have to understand who they are and understand the fact that they have, especially if you're living in a capitalist society, the household sector has the power. You determine how things flow in terms of market prices. If for example, Apple decides to launch one super fantastic, ridiculous product that is just meant to change the world and nobody buys it, guess what? It doesn't matter how good that product is.
Yep.
It ain't going nowhere. That's how powerful
True.
the household sector is. Let's move corporate aside for now, because the household sector has kind of lost its way. And that's because everybody get carried away with borrowing. And borrowing has increased the amount of risk that the household sector is carrying, you know? Because when interest rates go low, you have people borrowing, 50 million, 500,000, just borrowing anyhow without really counting the cost,
Yeah.
Can anyone build without first counting the cost? So to answer your question, Pam, one of the things that the household sector first has to do is to, one, know who they are. Like, know the power you have. As like, if you don't buy something, you're exercising your power right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you buy something, you're exercising your power. See how much money companies spend on advertising. No offense. Advertising. Just say baby around your house. Everything on your phone.
It's showing baby
We'll
stuff.
start showing you about baby. By mistake, go to a bank and let them find out you don't have a credit card. Everybody and their auntie will be trying to give you one. You understand? So I'm just saying, that's the kind of, like, to revamp, I guess, in order to be able to influence government decisions, right? The household sector, one, needs to know who they are. Two, they need to get their power back, in the sense of, one of the reasons why I really love this, the protests and everything that's happening, is like, the everyday person has found their voice again. You know what I mean? We are now demanding, this is not right. This is not good. This is not just, because before there was I know for me, I definitely had that. Just,
same here.
It's Nigeria. It is what it is.
From the first day, right?
Do you understand? Yeah. So it's so easy to fall into that complacency, right? Let me give you an example. I live in a small city, right? And so, like, the citizens here, the way they care. So we have birds. It's kind of funny to a typical Nigerian, but to them it's not funny. They will call the city and say they feel the birds are uncomfortable. The city needs to do something about it. If they call the first time and nothing happens, they will call the second time. By the third time, they're going straight to the city councillors, at which time everybody in the city is in trouble. Because they feel a bird is not comfortable.
Wow.
That's
the power right there.
This is not money. If there's a pothole somewhere, okay, there's a road that leads to the Costco in our city. So it's kind of bad, right? Because it doesn't fall under the portfolio of the city. But they bought a community center there that the city now manages that center. So they put a couple of events and people didn't show up. And the citizens told them, I'm not going to destroy my car because you put on an event. Have you seen the road that leads there?
Yeah.
My sister, in 2 weeks, that road was fixed.
Wow.
2 weeks. 2 solid weeks. It didn't, they've not put the white paint but it's smooth. I went to Costco a few days ago. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to understand the power. We need to understand the power that we have as the household sector. One of the other ways we control that power is in our buying decisions, right? And how we spend money. Do you understand? Because in Nigeria, let's be honest, the things that are selling.
Yeah.
Right? iPhone, do you get?
People don't have money, but they find the money for what they buy. And organizations are beginning to see like, oh, okay, people are buying this. Yeah, we'll make more of it.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Or we'll sell more of it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We'll market more of it to you. But if you actually decide like, you know what, delayed gratification, or do I really actually need an iPhone 12 right now? I already just got a 10 or 11. Like they would recognize that. So for sure, I totally agree with that.
Oh yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to, so Pam, I hope I answered your question. Like that's how we influence the government, first by understanding the kind of power that we have, because as one voice, and that's why this particular protest is different. You notice how they keep asking, who's your leader? They're trying to, do you understand?
Separate.
Thank you. Who's your representative? We're like, we don't want. It's everybody together that's making noise. So I personally believe that action will in fact happen. You understand? But that is because people are finding their voice back. So how we get that is like, okay, and I even saw a post that someone was saying, since the government hasn't even said anything about fixing up some of the police stations, how about we go and fix it with some of the funds that we're raising? And I'm like, yes.
Hi, Sir Egeritas.
Yes. Don't worry, everybody will tell you where to get the shirt. Even me, I want one. I've seen a lot of people ask about it.
I have to charge my phone right here, so I'm going to relocate. But yeah, the person that sells the shirt needs to like pay us or something,
right? For free advertising. She's cool. She's good people.
Yeah. Okay. So
there's another question on credit cards. Okay, so Yinka, to answer your question about credit cards, I personally don't use credit cards, but I have one prepaid credit card, meaning unless there's money inside, I can't spend it. And it's a discipline issue because I'm trying to teach myself. That said, if you're going to choose that lifestyle, you have to understand it comes with some comma. So like there was a time, I think a few years ago, when we were going for one of our meetings in Toronto, I booked a rental car with my credit card and they didn't accept my prepaid debit card. You understand? Wow. So you run into issues like that. But now, because I learned that lesson, thank God I was with a pastor friend of mine. He ended up bailing me out. But now, before I go anywhere, I will check their website and call them. Do you accept this type of credit card? Because we have chosen not to use credit cards. That said, you need to understand, like, the credit card is one of the most heavily marketed products in North America. And there's a reason why, because they're making their money. Yeah. They're correct, complete, can pay. They are making their money. I mean, 28-29%. Me say if I would do credit card if I can. Do you understand? 29% if you miss a payment. Do you understand? So personally, we just found in our household, for example, when we had credit cards, we will set budget. The budget is complete and accurate. By the time we look at it again, when did we spend this extra 500? What happened? We just found it because it's credit, right? So it allows you live above your means. Yeah. So if you make 1,000, you can only spend 1,000. But if you make 1,000 and you have a credit card of 500, you can now spend 1,500. True. And before you know it, 500 extra a month times 12 months, that's 6K. Times 2 years, that's 12K. Because what happens is most people will look up and, wow, how did I enter 15,000 in debt? That's how it creeps up. $100 here, $50 there, $20 there. And you look up and your credit card balance is 5,600 and you're like, there goes my tax return again. Do you understand? So what I'm saying is, if you are going to, in fact, use credit cards, just understand that last, they're making their money.
Yeah. Or like one thing I know, there are some people that actually paid they pay up the
balance each month.
Yeah, before. Yeah. So if you pay up the balance each month, you don't get I think before a certain date, you don't get they don't charge you the interest. Yeah. Before a certain days, they don't charge you the interest. So I think if you can do that, so for me, I still have my credit card now. I was actually even thinking about maybe I'll actually remove it from my Apple Pay because I didn't carry my card. I didn't carry my card. I have my phone. Here. Yep. Just press that button on the side, use your Face ID, it's done. Or I actually have it also stored on my Google thingy. So when I even go online, I just have it just enters. So now I'm thinking, you know what? I should probably remove all these to just help. Like I know I'm one of those people that when I swear to my own hurt and I don't change. As in I'm once I make up my mind, I make up my mind. But it's just still let me help myself. Like let me help, because and that's you have the access to it,
And
right?
that
So
was my reason why I stopped
yeah,
too.
you have
Because
the
I was
access
like,
to it. So yeah,
yeah.
I think just looking at yourself, or if you know, okay, maybe you still kind of need credit cards. So for example, like for myself, I'll probably be traveling soon for work, and so you have to like first use your credit card and expense stuff. And if that expense wasn't in my budget for that month, so if I know I can use it for things that like I know work will pay me back. Do you get what I mean?
I
So
see what you're
you
saying.
can have things like that. Oh yeah, or reduce it to like a manageable amount. So my credit card limit right now is 1,500. Right. So there's some. I remember when I was in university, I had a like $4,500 one,
This first
and
year,
I
haven't you
used
noticed?
it.
MBNA, they are
I
lined up
used
on
it
rush week. They're just
like
capturing them as they come
every
in.
Saturday
Quick fast.
shopping. You know what I mean? At the mall, and I was always like with friends then, and it wasn't even like a peer pressure thing, but it's just something we did, right? So just you have to, number one, reduce it. Like if you know, okay, you still kind of need one, reduce the limit. Number one. Number two, cut your coats according to your budget. Like
Yeah.
not even your size again,
Yeah.
right? So I know I was having this conversation with Fikari, and I was saying how I think we're talking about like how I shop at different places. Like I shop at thrift stores, I shop at like Shein because they're cheap. I might look like I shop bougie. Please don't try to be like your favorite influencer. Like shop where you can afford, man. Or there are places where like I'm honest, but I like really interesting styles or pieces, right? So I would find maybe stores that are kind of my budgets, that kind of have
Cut your
things
coat
similar to
according
that,
to your material, not your size. Simple.
right? And even when you go to thrift stores, you find really cool, like unique pieces there where people would think you just walked out of a Vogue magazine. Guys, I'm giving you all my secrets. So it's really important to just like don't do more than yourself. And at the end of the day, like follows after like, right? So if you think maybe some of your friends are like, they just make you to want to spend more. It's not by force. Oh, we're going to dinner every. If you can't afford it every week, stay in your house, and eventually, the people that are kind of on the same goal or the same mindset as you, you'll connect to them, and you need to ginger each other and encourage each other, even in that journey. So I think, it's really important to have the right
Mindset.
influence
Yeah. And
around you.
influence, you're right. I like this question. It says, how do you build your credit as a newcomer to Canada without having a credit card? I know that's one of the best ways they market credit cards to people, but you can actually build credits without a credit card. One.
Yeah.
But I will answer that question with the question is, why do you want to build credit? The next answer would be so that I can buy a house, right? Down the road. But did you know in Canada and in North America, there's something called manual underwriting, meaning even if you don't have credit, you can still buy a house. That's what a lot of
I
people
didn't
don't
know
do.
that.
Yeah. My sister, if your ducks are in a row, do you understand? You have a job that you've been at for more than 2 years that is making good money. What do you call it? You pay your phone bill with Rogers, Fido, and Co. because it's on your credit. You pay it every time on time, right? They see
Yeah,
a
that
pattern of
goes
payment.
that's in your
It's on
credit.
your credit. Yeah.
Your phone.
For example, what else? You have savings. Do you understand? As a newcomer to Canada, a lot of people bring a lot of cash here, but they end up blowing it in the wind because of the lies they are told when they first come in. If you go to the bank, you have $30,000 in savings. In addition to your down payment, you pay your phone bill on time. They will give you a mortgage, and you've had a job longer than up like the amount of time. You show that you're responsible, because what they're looking at is you as a responsible person. Now, the easiest way for people to check if you're responsible is to look at your credit history. However, if it's not there, for example, you go to the bank, your household income, you both make 4,000 each, right? You both had the job longer than 2 years. You have 60,000 for down payment plus an additional 20K in savings for emergency. The bank will give you the mortgage. Like people with worse than that get mortgage. Do you understand? So I'm just saying, like, one thing you need to study, if you don't have a credit card or line of credit, study the underwriting, like what they actually look for when they are giving someone a mortgage. The biggest thing is, can you make the payments?
Yeah.
You make your monthly payments every month. Your utility bills. You don't owe MMAX. You don't owe Direct Energy. You don't owe City of Kinikon. you can prove that you're a good person, like you're a responsible person. So you can actually
with your
get
money.
You understand? I didn't have a credit card when we got our mortgage. And we still,
wow.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very possible. So don't believe the lie. You understand? So that's why I was saying I will answer that question with a question. Don't just take what they've sold us as fact. There are people that give mortgage in this, manual underwriting is I should explain manual underwriting process.
You should. I think you should actually pin that and do a carousel about it. So an Instagram feed post where you do a carousel about it. So I think that would be something. So then that way people can save it.
Yeah. So there are other ways, like Kenny is just telling me to highlight all the other ways that you can build your credit score without having a line of credit online. Your phone bill, your utility bills, making whatever payment you have, just make them on time. If you have a student loan, like for example, and you're making your payments on time, that counts as credits. You understand? Let me give you an example. When we paid off our line of credit, my credit score dropped by 86 points.
Really?
When we paid off all our debts, my credit score went down by almost 100 points.
How does it go down?
Thank you. What do you think they're trying to tell you right there? They want you to be sitting in the gbese. So I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Don't believe the lie. I still went to the bank with that credit score that went down. But the mortgage underwriter, when she saw our finances, we had zero debt outside of the mortgage we were about to take. We had savings. We had all our payments that we've been paying before in terms of like our bills and whatnot. We're all paid on time.
It was paid,
she was more than happy to give us the mortgage.
Wow.
Do you understand? Manual underwriting is very much, they check if you can make the payments. And how do you prove you can make payments? You've been at a job longer than 2 years, right? Even it doesn't have to be the same job. It's just you've been working steady for at least 2 years. Even if you change job, consistent. You're consistent. Whatever bills you're paying them on time. You know what I mean? You have savings of some sort. Do you get? So if you've been working for more than 2 years, you should have something,
My credit score went down by 50 points when I paid off and closed my $2,000 credit.
Yeah, I see that, Michael. It's true. When we paid off our line of credit, we had a line of credit that we paid off, and my credit score went down to like the mid six. It went to like 680 or 686. I was so upset. I was just like, see these people, so they want me to remain in debt. In fact, when I went to the bank, I was trying to close it. The banker was like, you're about to buy a house. Maybe leave it open. I say, why? I closed it. I closed everything. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. We don't have any now, and we're surviving. There's nothing, because when I walk into a place, 9 out of 10 times if I'm buying something from you, I'm paying cash. I don't care what it is. When we went to buy that's what I'm saying, because cash is king, all else is BS. When we walked in to buy our furniture.
Wait, say that again. That's a tweet right there. Cash is king,
all else is BS. It's true though. All else is just bass boss. They just want to buy you left, right.
On that. She said it. She said what she said. Okay.
Cash is king. All else. No, it's a popular saying. It's a popular saying. I just don't want to say BS because we're all children of God. Do that. But yeah. Ways people can check your credit scores. There are lots. Borrowwell is one. It's free. It's just they'll be advising you to collect debts. Don't listen to them. Credit Karma is free. Mogo is free. You can every single one of the credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Co. They have to give you a credit reports, not credit score, once a year by law. You can request for it. They will send you
for free. But for free. No, I thought it was a credit report one, not credit score.
That's why I said credit report, not score. But if you want to check your score, don't pay for that. I know TransUnion and Co. They used to collect money. Don't do that. Borrowwell, Mogo,
credit. I use Credit Karma.
Yeah, Credit Karma is all. Credit Karma didn't used to be in Canada before, but yeah, they everywhere. It's all free now. There are like 3 or 4 of them that are big ups on giving you your credit score for free. But my point is, you need to understand. I guess I would question. What I'm trying to get us to see is question the reality, in the sense of they want you to be monitoring your credit score so that you can be able to borrow tomorrow. And then you continue monitoring this credit score so that you can borrow tomorrow, so that you can borrow again, so that you can. We don't want to be in that cycle. Deliver yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, let's question the realities that were fed when it comes to money. Because cash is king, all else is BS. And you know what? When you have cash, you will negotiate well, because you don't.
That's true.
You. When we went to buy furniture, they gave us. They said, no, just take credit. You don't have to pay for 90 days, something, this, that, and we're fresh off the paying off. So we're still in that stage of,
Should
so
we?
we're like, maybe should we? We came back to our senses real quick. Furniture that should have cost, let's just using figures now. Say the furniture was supposed to cost like 6,000. I think we ended up saving like 2,500. When we sat down, we started negotiating because you are paying your hard-earned money. You will
for real,
negotiate well.
even like at the store. I think that's also one myth too. Because I used to believe that you can't negotiate anything.
You can negotiate.
North America.
You can negotiate and negotiate well. But
so
if you were putting it on if you were going to finance it, and that's why I think I made a post on this recently because people were asking me like, actually it was my brother that was asking me like, how is 0% financing or all these other things they offer you not a good deal? I was like, one, the biggest reason why it is not a good deal is because you end up buying more when they are offering you financing. For example, if you're buying a car and your budget is 25,000 and you get there and they say, oh, we can give you credit of up to 35. All of a sudden, the rims, the bass boss, the bing, everything.
Customized color. Thank you. Make that yellow for me. What kind
of
understand? Like sun, like morning sunshine yellow. Make it that.
You won't negotiate again. You just be arguing because they've approved you for 35 when you wanted to originally spend 25. That's true. You spend more, which is one of the sometimes. But then again, I won't go into because there's a post on this. I won't go into all that. But that's the biggest reason why. But when you go with cash and when you know you need to negotiate, like I'll give you an example. My brother wanted to buy a car. This person listed the car for about 8 grand. My brother had saved 5. He went. He said, "Book the meeting. Sure, let's meet." When he got there, the guy was like, "Oh, this is the car. Can you call? My brother said, "I have 5 grand right here. Do you want it or not for the car?" Quick fast, the guy gave it to him. Cash is king. All else is BS. Seriously. Because he saved 3 grand right off the spot. I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, when you work hard for your money, I bought the furniture from the brick. I didn't go to any other. Wow. It's the brick. We negotiated at the brick because I was paying cash. I said, "Excuse me." First of all, I went on a good day. Like I planned it. We were like, okay, we went on Boxing Day early in the morning. When we got there, I took the guy's time very well. I spent like 2.5 hours. I sat down. It's okay.
And you have to have time too.
Because we were buying a lot of furniture.
Don't be in a rush.
I wasn't in a rush, Same thing is like with your phone bill and whatnot. Some people find out how much you pay for phones sometimes. Well, it has gone up now because we changed our phones because we have tried. I was still using iPhone 6 up until last 2 weeks ago.
I
didn't care.
Can change her phone?
Yeah.
Like the guy's phone will fall, it will stop working. For some reason it will resurrect again.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, don't let us keep buying the lie, that we have to keep up with anything. Because at the end of the day, this 85-year-old person that I was talking about, like the 85-year-old man that still has to work now because he only makes 6.5, and the 6.5 they've garnished it because he owes credit card debt. When you look back, what did he use the credit card to buy? Things. Sure. Vacation, laptop, iPad, iPhone. There's nothing wrong with these things. There's nothing wrong with these things. That's not what I'm saying in any way. I have an iPhone. I have a laptop. Do you understand? My point is, I didn't upgrade my phone until we upgraded our phones last month. And that's because we finished the financial goal. Do you understand? So for us, we delayed gratification because we're like, this financial goal is more important than getting a new iPhone. Do you understand? So I'm just saying, nobody's saying you shouldn't enjoy your money. When it comes to money, 3 principles: you give some, you save some, and you enjoy some. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You always do all 3 with money, no matter how you get it. My point is,
and I think you need to say that again, because I think sometimes people think on this financial journey of saving, of paying off your debt, you're not supposed to enjoy.
No,
you're supposed to put your enjoyment on hold. Right?
Like, for example, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so people think you're supposed to put the enjoyment on hold. And I think one thing I remember, I would always tell the guy, like, but I like shoes. But actually now I've stopped buying shoes. I've canceled all my guy because I still have shoes I haven't worn. Right? So I think, putting your enjoyment, of course, like within reason in your budget, right?
Yeah. I think when we go back to the understanding, and I'm going to talk because, like, especially as kingdom financiers, do you understand? Which is where we want to get to, such that when they are doing church building, they won't use 3 years to build church building. Do you understand? They say 5 families bring 50K each. That's what we want. Do you understand? We want to be able to do, for example, we talk about the young adult conferences we have. It shouldn't be, oh, we're looking to this or that or the other thing for money. Do you understand? Like
Yeah.
the whole point at the end of the day, which baby step 7 is so that you can build wealth
Give.
and give.
Yeah.
Do you get? How beautiful would it be? There's a single mom in your church who you like, who you know. You don't even need to know her. She wakes up one morning with a brand new car in her driveway that you bought so she can be carrying her children to school.
There's
We
nothing
see
wrong with that.
aunties, mothers, fathers. You see people that are single fathers. Do you understand? How nice would it be to be able to get somebody like that in that? Like, there's so many ways we can help. Do you get? And that's what I'm saying. Like, as the personal finance, when it comes to nation building, at the heart of the matter, the household sector needs to know who they are. One. And you get to know this financial journey. When you decide to pay off your debt, you will see parts of yourself you didn't know. Like, I didn't realize how, no offense, we Canadians were very spoiled when it comes to eating out. I didn't realize how spoiled we were until I'm like, I just want to buy $16 Starbucks. $16.
No, you know how much the money is gingering you.
Do you get? I'm just saying, and there's nothing wrong with Starbucks. I still buy Starbucks now. Do you understand? I'm not nothing wrong with this. I'm just saying, but you keep the main thing the main thing. Like my pastor will always say, keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is at the end of the day, yes, like the 3 principles when it comes to money: you give some, you spend some, you save some. You understand? So if you don't want one to be heavier than the other, you spend everything you get. Like the Bible will say, a foolish man devours all he has. But in the house of the wise are stores of treasure. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You know, like it's beautiful. Yeah, I don't even want to go into story, but like this year, when we calculated how much we've given this year, it moved me to tears, because when I remember when I was younger, like, you know, when my brother is still in school, like he will ask me for $40 to Lu, and I'll be cracking my brain where I can get $40 from.
And you will be so upset with yourself.
You'll be so upset with yourself.
I've been there.
Do you understand? Some of us have siblings here, uncles, and do you understand? You should be able to be the financial pillar in your family. If you do nothing else, if that's all you do, you are helping the government.
Start the old money.
You're helping the government because they are taking charge of people's welfare. Do you understand? You are helping society in that those people won't become a burden to society. If all you do is build enough to take care of your family. Do you get? So the household, for sure, like personal finances when it comes to nation building, is very important. People won't be tempted to steal. They won't be tempted to, you know, do the wrong thing. Why? Because they've conquered that part of themselves. Do you understand? That's all about me. Yeah.
So I think you should, it's important to also emphasize that. I know, like, we kind of keep saying household, and you're thinking, I don't have a wife or kids or husband or kids.
No.
Like, I'll wait till I have a household. Like, you yourself, your singular self.
Yeah, a household.
You're a household.
You are a household.
So start from there. Start from right now. Do you get what I mean? Start from right now from your own self, and start, you know, educating yourself and disciplining yourself, so that, you know, when you start a household, you have something to pass down beyond even cash. You have that, like, discipline and that knowledge to pass down to your children.
Yes, that's one of the biggest things. Like I always say, if there's less than 2 minutes left, so we're gonna wrap up. But like, even if all you do in this life is that you take care of your own household, you are still all right, you know. So personal finance when it comes to nation building, people, we have the power. Like, we control the market. They just don't say it enough. Like I said, if Apple decides to launch a product tomorrow and nobody buys it, guess what? They will remove that product from the shelf. Do you get? So if you have more questions, we got a lot of questions today. Please send it. You can send a DM. You can send DM
Finance.
actually. Fix It Finance on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. But
or if you have any, like, maybe topics that you want Fikayo to talk about, definitely, I think send it to them. Send to Fikayo on that.
So we're gonna wrap up in less than a minute.
We're gonna be lending to nations.
Yes, lending to nations for sure. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Let's talk about that. I'm gonna call you.
Amazing session.
So
cheers. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Keep protesting.
Yes.
Taking back our country.
Power for the people and SWAT. And get the sweater. Oh, I'll put a thing on my page on how you can get this.
Yeah.
I'll put on my stories right now. Bye, guys.
Bye.